Good evening, and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the Think Show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find their way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. And I guess the holiday season just keeps on swinging. So now I understand it's Kwanzaa, the holiday of Kwanzaa. And if you look to the screen, you'll see those pictures, those images, those paintings, drawings of the new world. When people were coming over trying to establish the new world, this is the people that they saw, the people you see on the screen. That's the people that they saw. Do you think that those people celebrated Kwanzaa? And so we're really in a situation where, yeah, you're starting to get a lot of traction from the indigenous stuff because people are really starting to understand. They get it. Most people don't. So a young lady asked him today, well, will we ever get to that point? Not my lifetime. The damage has been done. And one of the things that Black people do, they don't even understand what has happened to them. So what you do is just get as much information as you can. If you're on these talk shows and you're on these lives and stuff, and most of those, I would say 90%, most of them, they're gatekeepers. They're gatekeepers. Gatekeepers, people who keep you behind the gate, people who don't let any information pass, people who do all kind of lying, making a point to confuse the listeners. Most of them are gatekeepers. So today's subject is going to be Merry Kwanzaa and why Blacks always run from the truth. Always. They will lie. They will sell their children to not have nothing to do with truth. That's what I'm saying. When you hear that, all skin folks ain't kin folks or kin folks, that's right. You can't blame something on somebody when you were in it, making it happen with them. And see, when you ask Black folks, well, weren't you fighting other countries for somebody else while your people were in slavery? Then they get that dumb nigga look on their face. When they know, didn't you have people in the Tuskegee Airmen fighting people other places while your grandparents' towns were being flooded? Didn't African American Blacks, we did that? Huh? See, that's truth. And most people don't want to bring it up. You know why? Because it will implicate them. And I'm telling you this, I'm not telling it to piss anybody off or anything, but I'm telling it because these are things your children are going to have to know coming up. Your children are going to have to know that all these countries that the United States wreaked havoc upon, and you were right there with them doing it, and you see in all the immigrants from those countries that you warred with are coming over here taking up government positions. I hope that you understand what that is. I would tell you, but you'll get mad and just fuck it up. I hope you know that all these countries coming over here, they have the records of everybody who was in their country killing their people. Guess who don't know that? Or guess who don't give a damn? These are the things your children are going to have to know when you're long gone. And always lying and not knowing nothing and crying. Your children are going to have to know. If they know what you know, I'm not talking about the listeners now, because obviously you try to go seek higher education, because we're not giving you no bullshit over here. Your children are going to have to know this stuff. Why? Because all these immigrants coming over here, a lot of them are computer literate, even more computer literate than us. And this is going on now. This is going on now. All they're going to do is look at the military records, with which they already have, and like, unlike us, they give a damn about their ancestors. They care about them. Killing off their ancestors to them, meaning you're killing off them. We don't look at it like that. Black people don't look at it like that. You kill us, so it's okay. I'm still gonna get paid, right? Ain't that how the black man do it? Your children are gonna have to know this, because the people here now, they don't know. And if your children don't know, they're gonna suffer a fate that you couldn't even imagine. And this is what I mean. We're always trying to run away from the truth because we know we're guilty. You went over there, and a lot of the times you were sent out first, weren't you? Talk to your brother who have all the burns on their hands, who are in the military, who were in Vietnam, who helped killed off those people, and who you tell, thank you for your service. See, that's what blacks, African Americans do, trying to hide the fact that they did some devious shit to some people, and they're still being paid for it. Remind your children of that so they can be ready when the time comes. They can understand what's happening to them. Because as opposed to 10 years ago, the indigenous paradigm has picked up. Is nowhere where it should be. Everybody should know now. But we want to keep playing games. I implore, don't hand this down to your children. Before we go on and get into the program tonight, I told myself that I was going to start sharing stuff with the group, so we can see what's going on. Now, a lot of times we don't like to know, and me saying it doesn't carry any weight, because most of the time we don't listen to each other. We don't know nothing. You know how the African American think. So I want to bring something to you that you have to get this. Now, this guy right here, he's in the Virginia, however they do that government thing. It's so twisted, you can't even figure it out. And I don't even try to figure it out. This is only one way to go, and you guys know how I feel about this. Listen to what this guy says. Listen to what he says, and then we'll come back and give commentary on it.
Which was, in quotes, and this was the law, the inferior Negroid race. This is what it was about. And with enormous hypocrisy, Virginia's ruling elite pushed policies, got them passed, and it culminated with the Racial Integrity Act of 1924. There was a paper genocide. there was a paper genocide that occurred, and there was the officials in Virginia deliberately expunged the records. They destroyed the official records and most of the private records. I've got a statement that gets into the whole thing, but basically, a lot of Virginia's ruling elite claimed to be blood descendants of Pocahontas, and in their view, that meant that no one else in Virginia could make a claim that they were Native American, a descendant of Pocahontas, because to do so would mean that Virginia's ruling elite would have to be classified as all other non-whites were, which was, in quotes, and this was the law, the inferior Negroid race. This is what it was about. And with enormous hypocrisy, Virginia's ruling elite pushed policies, got them passed, and it culminated with the Racial Integrity Act of 1924. There was a paper genocide. There was a paper genocide that occurred, and there was the officials in Virginia deliberately expunged the records. They destroyed the official records and most of the private records. I've got a statement that gets into the whole thing, but basically, a lot of Virginia's ruling elite claimed to be blood descendants of Pocahontas, and in their view, that meant that no one else in Virginia could make a claim that they were Native American, a descendant of Pocahontas, because to do so would mean that Virginia's ruling elite would have to be classified as all other non-whites were, which was, in quotes, and this was the law, the inferior Negroid race. This is what it was about. And with enormous hypocrisy, Virginia's ruling elite pushed policies, got them passed, and it culminated with the Racial Integrity Act of 1924.
Now, we've been saying that for the past 20 years. Now people are getting it. But since Boss said it, maybe it'll hit a little bit different than if I say it. These people know who you are. You don't. That's what we've been trying to push since I found out. Because remember, I was in that Afrocentric stuff too. Yeah, I was in it. I was taught that in school and got red letters sent home to my mom that she gave me before she passed away because I was asking these cats questions and the teachers couldn't answer. But most of us still send our children to those same institutions to have their brains twisted. Now, the world knows this. The world knows this. Most Black folks, most African Americans don't. They'll argue. They'll tell you about ships coming across the Atlantic Ocean and never looked at a map. This is what I'm saying. Those people, when you hear about other nations and other lands, they don't have Christianity. They have their own Christianity, spiritual ideologies that they created for themselves so they can get down to what is happening on earth. Because if you'll notice, all of the people were nature people. That's what the Americans are. If you say Americans to the average Negro African American, what you talking about, Willis? They don't even know. They don't know what spiritual practices they did. They just jumped on somebody else's and start following that. And you've seen how that treated them. Pay attention to these cats, man, because what goes around comes around. And your children are your replacements. When you're gone, your children will still be here doing the things that you taught them. your children will still be here doing the things that you taught them. And if you taught them this dumb shit that the black man is doing over here now, you'll be off this planet before you know it. When they talking about depopulating and getting rid of people, this is what they're talking about. The world, and you should see this. You tell me one nation in the world that isn't represented in America right now. Do you see as many indigenous people from America in China as you see Chinese over here? Do you see many Americans over in Europe as you see Europeans over here? Do these things cross the minds of the indigenous people here? Of course not, because they think they're black. They refer to themselves as black. So I don't know about them because they're going to do what they do, but I implore you, teach your children that teach them who they are. Don't teach them what somebody else told them they were. Teach them who they were. And, just do your genealogy. You got a bloodline. Follow it. Nobody can do it better than you. Nobody. Searching yourself. And that brings us to what we're talking about today. Merry Kwanzaa. And I just said Merry Kwanzaa because somebody said that to me today. Really? Really? Do you think those people who you see right there on that map right there, do you think those people celebrated Kwanzaa, Christmas, Hanukkah? Those people have their own rights. Those people have their own ideologies. Those people celebrated nature in a way that can't even remember. These were the people who everybody saw when they got here. It was you. It was you. You ignore it, lie, and say it wasn't us. We came on a boat. And you ever notice that the so-called black people, African American, they only believe lies? Check that out. And like I'm saying, uh, I post the chat in the box so you can come on, and anything that you hear that you think is a lie, I want you to explain it like a person who has some sense. Not all that barking and a person get 4 or 5 words out, then you jump on. No, no, no. Explain it. Explain it if you were explaining it to a 5-year-old kid. Explain it. And what you'll notice with the African American black person, they can't explain anything. They only do what they're told. So if you have something that what we're talking about is not how it was, explain it. And we'll do this and it'll make it quicker too. Don't give it to us and know what somebody else said or what other people bought over here. Let's hear your side of the story. Wherever you're from. If you're from Africa, explain to us how the boats disappeared. How come there's no ships? Explain it. This is stuff your children have to know. This is stuff that you were supposed to know. This is stuff that your mom and dad was supposed to know. This is stuff that your grandma and granddad was supposed to know. That's 4 generations right there. And we still not knowing. No, well, like I said, we have a lot of people now who are like, question like that. They're questioning it. They're questioning it. See, in the school system here, you're not taught to question. You're taught to keep your mouth shut. Ask all the people that you went to school with who got valedictorian, blah, blah, blah. Speak to them now. Even if you didn't graduate high school, speak to them. You'll soon understand that they don't know nothing. Whatever job they went to, that's all they know. And the job they probably went to is not even here now because you got other nations over here selling you products that you fill your house with. You got more stuff in your house of theirs than they have of yours. Now, normally, when I'm in other groups or on other podcasts and stuff, you'll get people mad, and they're only mad is because I'm telling the truth. I'm not here to lie to you. War said the world is a ghetto. It's not just here in the Americas, it's all over the world. But the way that people think about themselves makes a difference. You can't look at yourself as nothing. You can't look at yourself as nothing. Merry Kwanzaa. Somebody called and told me that's what today was. And I asked them to explain it. What is that? They say it's an African little something, some dude over here and whatever invented blah. I'm like, no. If it's something that somebody bought from wherever they came from, what were the people's Kwanzaa here before they bought it? I mean, what did they celebrate in the winter? What did they do? What did they eat? What kind of feast did they have? I'm talking about the people you see on the screen, those Americans. What was that? What did they do? Every single one says, I don't know. You don't know what your ancestors did, yet you go help kill other ancestors and have them living right down the street from your mama. So bad saint makes perfectly good sense. I forgot all about Kwanzaa. See? How can it be African, but it was created in America? See, that's what I mean. Those are questions people don't ask. I mean, you asked it, brother, I see. But simple stuff like that. We don't question nothing. That's what school is for. And here y'all know school is to make sure that you don't ask no questions and to keep you dumb. Anybody that can prove that is not true, the mic is yours. So the image that I have, the thumbnail that I had when I was posting this, what I notice about the Kwanzaa, the whole motif of Kwanzaa is it's a whole bunch of Jewish stuff in it. What's up with that? Is that part of it? You know, that little candle they have, it got 7 placeholders. It got that and some other Jewish stuff. What is that? What is that? And this is stuff we teach our kids. So how are they going to know what all these immigrants are coming over, becoming mayors and governors or where they live? And we're teaching them stuff like this. Christmas. I mean, it's being set up right in front of your eyes, guys. It's being set up right in front of your face. Don't do that to your kids. So seriously, you'll put them in a position that they won't recover from. Now, second part of it, why is it? And I like to get an answer or reply from somebody. Why is it that Black people, African Americans, Hoteps, Hebrew Israelites, why are they always running away from the truth and are vehemently will lie, say, do anything to hide what they're doing? Why is that? When you tell these children about themselves, tell them about themselves, you know what they're doing. You know what you're doing when you tell them who they are, why the world wants what you got, why the world, everything they want to be you. You just teach them that they're Black. How does that work? Nobody has an answer. Nobody has an answer. Why is it that if the king lives in England, everybody's not running to England? Because when you look up Europe, you'll see they're at the top of the third world country. It's just a few places that they have, and that's where those kings and barons and lords live. They come do business here. It's been said they care nothing about here, just to make money. And the way to make money is to get all the indigenous people to buy their garbage. And they don't touch nothing of yours. They just take your resources, give you a couple of pats on the head, and you're happy. Why they take your resources. And I'm not just talking about resources, gold, tin, copper. You have gases. Gases where your great grandmama lived. You have rock. You have all kind of resources. So just imagine if you're trading the people of America, the people who America is home to, what's the trading deficit with England? How much does England pay you for your resources? This is all the so-called Black people, African American. What does England send you a year for your gas? Everybody in America, the Americans, what they send you? Bad saying said, because black people are a government corporate created commodity, and they think what they're programmed to think. What? I think that's true. Shouldn't we teach what kindergarten? Shouldn't that be taught? Shouldn't that be taught? You would think the way technology is set up now, we could educate our own children. How come that's not done with all these people who are in prominent positions and all these people who got guns and rah, 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 rah. How come that's not being done? All these scholars that we have, how come that's not being done? Seriously. How come all the football teams, professional football teams over here, aren't owned by any of the players? People come from other countries to pay you to get out there and bump heads every week with each other. But you don't do it. You just tell the stories later in your podcast. These are the things your children are going to have to be aware of if they're going to survive or keep getting pimped like a hoe, because that's what's happening. That's what's happening. It happens like that because blacks are always running from the truth. And I was told and found it to be true. You can't run away from yourself. You can't run away from yourself. Unless every time you ask a question and you never get an answer, you'll lie. And I'm talking about Black and African Americans because the world lies to us every day. They figure it out. I've heard people from other nations talk about how dumb we are, and they can come over here and do anything. And you know what we do about that? We show them how to do it. Then lie and act like we don't, we see one of the things that we forget about that is really, really harming us. One of the things we really forget about is all those killings in the 80s over crack. You don't think the world watched that? And now just skip right over it like it never happened. Do not hide that stuff from your children because they won't know what to do when the time comes. They'll be thinking something else. And other people will be playing a game on them like they're playing a game on you. Told you 30 years ago when Natasha Harlins got killed, do not support these immigrant businesses. That's all we do right now. That's 30 years ago. That's all we do right now. And then I want to kick your ass because you don't tell them what to do because you ain't their daddy. This is the African American now, and arrogant about it. So I know we don't like to hear this, but this is how it is. Just how we are right now. Long as we can dance and shake our asses, we're in heaven. Right or wrong. As long as you could be the mass singer, don't teach that stuff to your kids. Don't let that be the only thing you leave for your kids about who they are in this world, or who their people were in this world, or who their ancestors are in this world. Went to go see Stevie Wonder one night. This is a cold story. Check this out. Went to go see Stevie Wonder one night, Hollywood Bowl. Guy was there, brother. This is in California. Was there with his Japanese girlfriend. So her and I got to talking, and I had my African Americans Ain't African t-shirt on. And she was like, "Oh yeah." What she said? She said she can go back 600 years, the lineage in her family. She can go back 600 years. So I asked the brother, how far can you go back in your lineage? You know what he said? You know what he has the audacity to say? And this is what I'm saying. You can't be leaving this. You can't be leaving your kids like hanging like this. I asked them, how far can he go back in his family? You know what he said? The typical Negro answer. Huh? Didn't even know. Didn't even know. What do you think the girl who he was with, because I'm sure she knows it, what do you think she's thinking? Because it's like all the white girls are coming out now. These brothers want to get with these white girls, they'll kill your kids. Bad Saint says, we've been divided and conquered. We're too entrenched in the system we claim to hate. You can't bite the hand that feeds you. That's been going on all the time, dude. You've been divided and conquered. Weren't you in wars to help put you in this position? Yeah. Weren't you Tuskegee Airmen? When your people were going through Jim Crow, you were off doing something else. Didn't that happen? Yeah. When Vietnam was going on, your people was getting slapped around the country. Were the Viet brothers here fighting so that wouldn't happen, or were they over there fighting in Vietnam for boss? I know you're gonna tell your kids some other lie to keep them stuck. I implore you, don't do that. Don't do that. Teach your children. Don't teach them what you're being taught. Because what somebody asks you to explain what you've been taught, 10 times out of 10, it can't be done. You act like, because I do it. I'll track down my old teachers and ask them why did they do that. They all say the same thing. I was just doing my job. I was just doing what I was told to do. All the because you see the churches are empty now. When you ask the people, why'd you go for it for so long? I was just going, trying to get along. I asked the lady one time, how much money do you think you tithed the church? Well over $1 million. This is just one working class, middle class lady. Imagine how many of us done that. Look at our communities now. The people who made the communities like that, they won't even apologize. They're just going to keep pretending like it didn't happen. Do not teach your children that. They'll be in way worse condition than you are. That's why blacks always run from the truth. But like I said earlier, you can't run away from yourself. And the earlier you teach the children this, they'll come up with a way to fix it. Because they don't do nothing anyway but think, figuring out what the hell does this Santa Claus thing have to do with anything. They're trying to make sense of the world because you sure ain't helping them. Are you? Stop lying to these kids, y'all. They're going to need all the information they need. If you look at the movement of the peoples of the earth, the past 30 years, where does the so-called the black youth that's coming up, and I'll say the black youth is, I'll say 20. You see all this stuff that they learning now? Start helping these kids out. Start giving them some information. Inform them. Stop lying because you're stuck on a belief. Remember, you can't run away from yourself. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.